Hello guys, welcome back to Code Academy channel. Now in this video is actually series 2 or lesson 2. We've already done the lesson 1. So in the lesson 1 we created a product service and we were able to display the product as you see on the screen. We added a component whereby we can add product. That is what we did in the lesson 1. Now this is lesson 2. In this lesson 2, as you can see from here, we have added some components whereby we can add or update product, and also we've added the same component to update category. Now if you check here, you can see we have these are the categories that we have, but these categories have not been linked. Linking of these categories to the product is going to be a different lesson together. Okay, for now we are going to learn how to create this category and perform the CRUD operations, that is the create, read, update and delete to this. Now you can see with the product there is a view that a person will see as soon as he enters the site. Now we have add product, whereby product can be added. You can also choose name, that is the image, whereby you convert this image to bht4 string, and we are accepting only JPG files. When you go to the same product, update and delete, because you're going to have the whole list, whereby you have two buttons here, update and delete. If I want to delete a product, I click on delete. I actually want to delete this HP desktop computer. If yes, see what happens. As soon as I click on that, I wait and it is off. It is gone. It has been deleted. Now if I go to update, like this the T50, update this product found, that is a Dell T50 computer. Now I can remove this. I can increase the price. Okay, I can change the image here. I click on update, see what happens, product updated. If I go to product list, now you can see from here it is the T50, price has now changed. I can also delete it as well. The same thing applies to the category. Now I can go to add category. Now here I can add a category and select image. So let's assume this is electronics. So I want to add electronics. Now here I need an image, so I'm going to choose this and select any image for the electronics. So here, let's see if I can get a computer or a laptop. So let's use this. Okay, now as soon as I select the image, this JPG file, I get it over here. Let's say I'm choosing an image which is not valid, which is not JPG image. I have one that is PNG. I'm going to select this, and you can see you have image invalid file selected. So choose the preferred one, and that is what I have here. So click on create, and you can see category created with this image. Okay, now if I go to update category, now you can see I have it over here, electronics. The URL here is electronic. With this I can update this. It is found, category found. I can choose a different image. Let's choose the different computer together. So laptops, choosing this one. Now there is it. Click on update, updated. So go back to update or delete category, and you can see it is updated. Now this category is going to pop up here. As soon as I reload this application, this category column is going to come in with the category that we just created, electronics. As soon as I click on this, you can see as soon as I hover the mouse on, you can see the name appears as the URL or the link, but we haven't added it yet. So you can see traveling back, We can also go back to kitchen utensils, and it is here. We haven't done that yet. Okay, that's going to be a different thing altogether, but for now we are trying to how to provide these components, these services, so we can add, update, and create category. That is what we are going to do today. This is just a quick review. Now if you want to start from scratch from the series or lesson 2 to build everything step by step, then another channel link has been added to the project description side. Check it over there. It's almost 3 hours. Okay, so that section is going to help you to start from scratch, where we started from lesson 2 to build up. Now this is just a quick review for those who actually know a lot or who are immediate in Blazor. We're going to go through it, then maybe you have the idea. Sorry, I just had a call to interrupt this video, but it can't. Okay, so let's move on. So with this, we are going to learn how to go through this. If you want to just get a scratch one, then check that video. I'll put the link in the description. You can just go in there and check. If you like also what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel for more quick review of projects as this. Okay, so this is an e-commerce. Okay, so without wasting much time, this is what you want to do. Let's go to the application. Now this is a project that we have created. So in the previous video we had a connection strings, a database connection. We created a product category. So let's try to go through it fast. So what we did here was to create the settings. So this is the database connection in the app.json file, working in the server project, and that's what you see over here. Aside from that, you created application DB context for database connectivity and table creation. So we have it over here. Now here, as you can see, we've added a category table. So this category is coming from this model. So the name of this table is categories, and the column names are going to be taken from this category. Aside from that, what we did again here, we have to create an interface. So we created one for the product. We did that in the lesson 1, and that is it. So we're going to add, update, get product, and here getting all product, and here getting a single and delete product. So with the delete product, we can just add it now as a delete product. Now you go to the interface or the implementation, that's the product repo, and now here we injected an app.db context, and now we initialize it here. So with the add product, we add a product, we save, then this is a response that we created with service model. Now you know we are going to create category and a product. We want to create a generic. We want our service response to be generic, instead that it can be used anywhere. So that's why we have to make it a generic. And how do you make it? So in the DTO, we edited the service model and we passed it as T. So we took off the product over here. So the T here stands for the model. So any model that you want to utilize this service model for, just pass in T. So example is what you see from here with our product repo. Now you can see from here that we pass in T. So this is a model that you want to pass in. So wherever that you see this service model, we pass in this T or this product as the T value. So we add the product here, we save changes, we set up the response and the CSS class and message, and that is it. We add it. Now the next one here is product, is delete product, and you can see if we check if the product is found in, then we remove it from the database, we save changes. Then these are the response that you want to set. Then we get the list of product. That is why as soon as I click on delete, it gets deleted and it moves out from the page. That is by getting the list of product. So when it gets deleted, I want to get all lists again, then I get it and display, whereby the deleted one is out, so I get a current one. Aside from that, what we did again here was to get single product. So we search from database and grab the product. We set the success, or that's the service model, the various properties in, and display. Okay, so aside from that, what we did again was here to get product. So here getting all product, and we get all products here, we convert them to list, then we assign them to the list in this service model. So as you can see in each of these methods we create a new instance of the service model, because the tax here, it is going to return a tax of service model. So we need to return a service model to this tax to vary, okay, so that it can match. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to update. So this product is coming in here. Now when this new product comes in, it's coming in with an ID. Now with this ID, we are going to check if the ID is found, then we update this. We update the model, and that's exactly what we are doing here. So we set what is found in the database to the current one, we save changes, and that is it. So that's what you did for the product. Now let's go to the category and see the same thing that you did for category. Now we create another, there is an I category, we add, we delete, we update, create, get category, and we get all categories. So this is by ID and it's getting all list. Let's see the implementation with the repo. Now you can see we still have the DB context injected, initialized, add category, we create a response out of this. Now as you can see from here, since we have a generic service model, we just pass in the category as a T value, and that is it. So we check if it is null, we display message. But if it is not null, then we want to check if that category name is found already. If it is, then display this. But if it is not, then we are going to get the name. So in the category has, when you check the model, it has the URL, so it has these attributes or properties: ID, name, URL, image, and now this date created, today's date. Now image, we have URL. Now URL here, this is a lowercase of the name, and we place any name, any space in this name with dash. So maybe if we have electronics gadget, it's going to be electronics in all lower cases, then that space is going to be replaced by dash, so electronics dash gadget, and we store that as a URL. That is exactly what we are having in the category repo. So that's what this is going to do, to replace all spaces with dash. When we are done, we add a category, then we save changes, we set up the response, and we get the list out of this. Now that is to add category. Now the next one here is delete category. So we get the category ID. If it is found, then we remove it, save the rest, then we can display this to the user. So category.single name deleted. Now if it is not null to, or if it is null, then we can display this, the results coming in such that category not found to the user. After deleting, we have get categories, getting the whole list, return it to the service model as returned as a response. Now the next one is get category by ID. So we're going to make a search and get it from the ID, we store it. Now this ID here, we assign to the single one and return. If it is not found, display this. Very simple. Aside from that, we can see we have an update category coming in with a new category. We check the ID. If it is found, we set it over here, then we update it, return the list to the service, and that is it. Okay, so that is what we have for the CRUD operation. So here we've implemented all CRUD operation: create, read, update, and delete. So create. So we have, this is a create, we have read, we have update and delete. Now let's go to the service model and create our service. That's a client project. So with the server project, we have to create a controller first. With the product controller, we inject the product repo, then add product. We just have to return OK, record the repo, then add product. We pass in the new product that is coming into the controller. The same thing applies to this. Now return the whole list to the controller, since it is service model with the product T value as product. We get an ID, so we get product ID, we pass in the ID over here, and we are going to receive the ID from the header. Now delete it, we're going to receive the ID from the header, we delete it over here if it is found. Then put here, it is an update. So update coming with the new product. Then we search and now update it over here. That's very simple. Now when you go to the category 2, we are doing exactly the same thing. So look through it, getting categories, get all, get single one with an ID, add with a new category, delete with an ID, update it with the object. Okay, so we have the same thing. Now you see update is put, delete is delete, adding is post, and get is what, or reading is get. Now once you are done with this process, we have to go to our client project, and in our client project we have to create services. So you can see we have services folder here. Now if I open it, we have product service and we have the interface. Now the interface is the same as what we have in the repo, so we just have to copy and paste because we are encapsulating it over here. We just copy and paste and put it here. Now when you go to the implementation, that's the product service, we inject the HTTP client because that's what we're going to use to connect to the controller. Then we initialize it here. Now with the add, it is post as JSON async. So this is the API product name. So there's an API here, and that is the name of the controller. This is the name of the action method. Now we post it, and the response we read it over here. The same thing applies to the delete product. Here we are using delete from JSON async because this is an HTTP status or verb. Now you know it's HTTP delete, so we have to pass in as delete from JSON async. That is the API. That is the controller name as product. We pass in the ID that we are going to delete. We return the result. The same thing applies to the get product. We pass in the ID to the API, controller name, a method name, and that's the product or the parameter that it needs. Then get all product, API name, product controller name. We get all. That's the HTTP get async, and here we read from the results. And that is an update, and you know it is put, so it is put as JSON async. So this method must in line with the HTTP verb, such as get, post, delete, put, and etc. We do the same thing here. Now what we've done is the same as what we did in the category. Now in the category 2, instead of this service model as product, we change it to category. Let's take a look and see. So if you understand this, the same thing that you're going to do for the category. Category controller. Let's see. So with the service, so I category. Now you see we have the same thing from the repo. Now when you go to the service or the implementation, we see we have the same thing, but just this time around, instead of the product, it is category. We have post, we have delete, we have get async, we have get one, and also we have put. And here with the controller name is category, so it is not product. So we change only the category here, the controller name, and the service model T value, that is the category. That is the only change that we have to make. The rest are the same. Okay, now we are done with our service. So what we can do here is we can now go to our pages and now start to create our components. The first one is the product. Now product, we inject the I product service, and now here this is just a bootstrap class that we are looping through. So we loop through the list of this model. Now if we come to the code here, we create an object out of this, and the value here, T value, is product. Then we are getting the whole list from the product. When we get the whole list, we call the method here in the page initializer. As soon as the page loads, call this method, and that's the definition. So here we have to loop through the list, and now just define the various properties under each product, and that's what we are doing here. So we are checking if today's date is not equal to the date that the person uploaded it plus 30 days. You want to add this batch as new, so it's new product. And here we are checking for the price. So if the price, original price, is greater than the new price, it means the price is still the same. Okay, so let's say if we say that if the new price here is not 0 and it is lesser than this original price, it means it has been reduced. Therefore we want to cancel this and I write a new price. But if the new price is 0 and the original price is greater than that, then we display the original price because the price has not been reduced yet, it is the same. So that's just a simple one that we did, and you can see we have a button as add to cart. Now that is for product list. If you go to product details, if I click on, now you can see with the product list we have anchor tag here. We pass the product details with the ID. Now when it comes to the product details, we want to receive an ID as a parameter here. Now this ID is set as parameter. Then we are going to loop through. When the parameter is changed, we call this get product method, and at this get product method we pass it and get all product with this specific ID. Now if it is ID, when we have the answer over here, we store it as a service model. Then since it's just a single value or a single model, we don't have to loop through it because just a single T value, that is a category. So what you do here is we are going to loop through it and I'll set the response. So we loop through it and set the images, we set the description, the service model, and the etc. Everything that you want to do, we set it over here. Then you see we have a cart here, add to cart, that's the button. As soon as I click on this, I want to pass in the product ID. Now the product ID, since I have the details here, I can use service model. Now we are saying that if quantity is greater or equal to 1 and quantity is less than service model quantity, it means we want to accept it. What does this mean? We have quantity here as an input. Okay, so how many items do you want to buy? This product, it is, we have 20 in stock. You want to buy 21, it's not possible. So that's why we are checking over here. But that product, the amount that you are buying or the quantity must be greater or equal to 1. So we check that. And if the quantity that you pass in there, it is less than the quantity that we have in stock. Let's say we have 20, I want to buy 19, is accepted. Then we haven't added the cart yet, but we'll do that soon, maybe in the next lesson. Okay. Now that is what we have with the product detail. The next one that we created was to manage product. So the first one is the add product. Now you can see with the add product we have just a form, and we've created a new product here, and that's what we are using for as an edit form model. So there's an edit form, and that is a model. When everything is submitted, then handle add product. We call this for validation. Then we call this method when everything is fine. Now handle add product here, we call the service known as add product. We pass in the new product that we have accumulated here, then return the response to the user. When we come to the image change, from file change, that's the changing or choosing image. As soon as image is selected, this event gets fired. We convert it over here, we check the extension, if it's JPG, if it is, then we try to convert it to base64 string, then we store it. Then if it is PNG or any other format, we display this. That is for add product. Now add category, it is also the same. Now we need an edit form. When it is fired, handle add category, that is a model. This here is to check for validation, and here we need only name and image. So that's what you're doing here, category, new category. Then when it is fired, we call this category service, then add category passing this model. This category service is what we injected on top here, I category service, then this object. This I category interface here contains the method that we can use to add, delete, or perform all the CRUD operations. Now we move on to the next one, manage categories. So here we display all lists of categories. So as you can see from here, when the page loads, we get all categories, we store it over here, then we are going to loop through the categories here. That's why we're using the for each and display all lists from the database. Now if I click on this, you see we have a button here, update and delete. If I click on update, I call this method handle category update, and here it is what handle delete. So I'm passing category ID and category name. Now if I come to handle update, in the interface you have a method known as update and delete. So I just use JavaScript. I invoke, so you can see we inject JavaScript one time over here, Then we call that runtime here to display, to set as confirmation. Are you sure you want to delete? We add the name of the product. If yes, then call this category service and delete category, passing the ID. But if no, then we can return. When it is updated, when you click on the update button, we call this update category and I'm passing this ID. Let's check with the update category. So it is receiving an ID here as a parameter. When it receives it, when parameter gets changed, it gets the information or data from that category using the ID. Then that ID here, it is stored with this new object, and this new object, its properties have been linked here, so display the result over here. Now when update button is clicked, we call this handle update. Okay, so handle update, then we update it. And here, if you want to set an image, change the image and it's going to get fired, we store the image here and we update it. One left that we have to talk about here is the say manage product. With the manage product, as you can see, we look through the list. Now we inject the iProduct service on top. We call a method here when page initializes, and the same thing as we did for the category, we do the same here. Get all products. If you want to delete it, passing the ID and the string name, the name of the product. Confirm this. If it is confirmed, call this product service dot a method known as delete product, passing the ID. If not, return. When update is clicked, go to update product, passing the ID. When you go to update product, it's accepting or receiving a parameter known as ID, and when it receives, when parameter gets changed, it has to call the get product and passing the ID, store the details, and I'll look through it and display them here in the module known as new product. And that's what the module that we have here as a new product. So that is a simple thing that we did so far, and you could say it's not much difficult and it's very simple. Now this code here, maybe I was going too fast because it's just a quick review, trying to explain all together what we put together to have that project that we see on the screen. Okay, now to get the source code, as I said earlier on, this series, that's a lesson 2 video, or the source code is going to be linked in the description, so you can go there and grab that. Okay, now this lesson 2 comprised of the lesson 1 and lesson 2. But if you want to go to lesson 1, the source code to one of the lesson 1 video, and I'll link it under the description as well, so you can just go in there and now search for that or click on that. That is it for this. Now I also link the full length of this video from the scratch to the under the description there. It's about 3 hours, and you can just run through that step by step, and you're going to see, you're going to have a beautiful work as you've done. As I said earlier on, I recommend that for those who have a basic knowledge in Blazor. But those who are geeks, okay, those who know a lot, they can actually understand this quick review and know what the system is about, and they can do something similar or even better than this. Thank you guys for watching this. If you like what I'm doing here, you can just give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. And then season 3 or the lesson 3 is going to come soon, whereby you're going to add the category. As soon as I click on it, I get product related to. I'm going to have a login, sign up, and add to cart. So as soon as I click on this, add to cart, it must reflect here. Pagination, we're going to work on that. Number of pages that you want to display, number of the page size, number of product that you want to display is possible. We're going to do that. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also enjoyed it as well being with you. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to catch you up in the next video. That's going to be the lesson 3.